Is it Monday or like a what are they doing? We're talking about the July the 4th thing in the US. And
Yeah.
so what's the national holiday status?
The 4th of July is the national holiday, but
Right. So it's actually the Tuesday will be off, but the Monday is not a holiday.
not technically, but it depends on,
Right. And people might take that off. They might say, oh yes, there's a right.
well,
But it's the 4th of July is not it's not like they don't it's not like they give you a 3-day weekend and make the festival day the day next, next to the weekend. It's like whenever the July the 4th happens to land, the holiday will be on that day. Is that right?
yeah, so except, like, let me see, federal. Like, I think today, I think like the post office is open here.
Okay.
But say, so there's like a weird thing like with federal holidays. Like
Yeah.
say fell on a Saturday,
Uh-huh.
like the holiday would for like the federal employees and like
Yeah.
and stuff would be the Monday.
Okay.
So it'd be like July 6th.
Oh, okay. So they basically, if it happens to be the weekend, then it would shift to the following Monday. But
Yeah, you get that day off.
if it's not on the weekend, it's just whichever day it happens to be on, Monday to Friday.
Right. And then same with like Christmas Eve, I think is technically a holiday.
Hmm.
Christmas Day is a holiday.
Hmm.
And so if that's like on the weekend, then you get the Monday off.
Hmm.
Same with New Year's, January 1st, you get the Monday off.
Hmm.
It also depends, like if you're in a private employer, then it's like
Sure.
it's just like whatever. Some places have like a floating holiday or something it's called, where like, oh, you're not actually off.
Hmm.
They don't want to shut down on July 4th.
Sure.
So they say, oh, you have like basically you can take that time off some other time.
Sure.
So they give you like another day and you
Yeah. Yeah.
off and then you have to schedule it and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It depends like what your particularly like what your line of work is. Like if you're in a,
Sure.
if you're in like in a factory or something,
Mm.
they often maybe don't want to shut down
Right.
all the week.
Interesting. So it's just you and me at the moment. Neither Matt or Drow are online. We will see if anyone else turns up. Um, was there anything that you particularly wanted to mention in this meeting, Michael?
What?
Was there anything that you particularly wanted to cover in this meeting?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe community support stuff, but it depends on who's going to attend and everything.
It does, yeah. I was just creating a little document that could be used to include things, which I will paste into the thing there, and I guess I'll put a screen share on if I can work out a bit. Oh, it says error. We are unable to access your camera. No. Screen sharing. Sharing. I think I have to click that, and then yeah, it's probably not. Yeah, until I do that. There we go. Yeah, well, I mean, given the others is not online, I mean, I think it's probably going to be you and me. I mean, I think the things that were on my mind were one, just like the time of this meeting, and this meeting overlaps with like the SHF people have their they have their regularly have their client meeting and or stand up at approximately this time, give or take. And the what's it called? I forgot what it's called now. The Wiki EDU project as well. So it kind of there's both of those groups can't easily make it to this meeting, I guess. So
Interestingly, today I'm reading in the SHF, but today they kind of canceled their meeting because like the U.S. is on holiday. So I guess like Patrick,
Right.
and stuff. And
Yeah, and Ashley's also in the
Ashley's not gonna be there probably.
Yeah.
So like I think but next week, yeah.
Yeah. Then that might would certainly. I mean, maybe JP may well be off on a holiday. Yeah, I mean, the difficulty that I have, I guess, is that given the activities that I do with my kids on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday and Friday are the only days where I can kind of go a bit later.
Mm-hmm.
And Friday has sort of traditionally been the auto graders meeting, although we haven't done that a lot recently. If moving to Friday would be helpful. I mean, I think in some ways actually I'd much rather have the auto grader meeting. I often feel like the auto grader meeting I have it at the very end of the week, very very end of my week, and so all the stuff comes up and I can't, like there's a series of action items on me. So in some ways, I'd if the instructors or whatever are going to be free on a Monday, I'd love to swap them around, but I mean the other thing is for I guess the updates. I mean this meeting was sort of particularly, I mean, Mikhail started off that big discussion in AV Community Talk about, right, yes, well, how can we sort out supporting Sam so that he stays around and or what have you. I mean, I'm sort of working out now a framework with the trustees to basically provide a minimum level of support for me, because between the subscription levels as they are and the NHS contract, there's kind of just enough to sort of support me for a year. So that's a very positive development in that regard.
For a year going forward, or
yeah, for a year going forward.
Okay.
So that, but it's sort of a basic level. I would still need to take private contracts in order to, do anything other than just feed my family. But it definitely reduced my stress level. So I mean, there's, I guess there might be an argument that a sort of objective partially achieved basic life support. I think it's in the longer run, more contracts have to come in. We will need more contracts, members, or sponsorship, or some combination. The three. I think also, we would like to move beyond just supporting me and support other key members of the community. So there's the general, like, how does that all work going forward? But I'll leave it there. Did you have a particular thing to mention?
Just discussing, I guess, at a high level, our project, I guess, for.
Yeah, you mean the domain model that we started in the marketing meeting?
But also, kind of, if we wanted to back up and say, maybe there's some other model that would better serve some business purpose or define,
Right.
I wish you had that book. I guess you don't, but
I can acquire the book. Yeah, sure.
I'm wondering if it's worth getting, though. I mean, it's not like ultra cheap.
No. Right. The used one costs more than the new one.
I don't. What does it cost on Amazon? Like on
It
your?
says $110. I mean, I shall go and look at it for on.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
But that's not it. Sorry. Which is the one? Oh, this one.
Fundamentals of machine learning.
Right. It says ebook from $52. Let's see if I.
That's in the US. I don't know what it.
Let me go to the UK website. Yeah, I could certainly make that a priority to get that so that we're on the same page. That's not a problem.
I mean, it depends on if it's worth it to you to get it.
What does it say here? It's got like there are a variety of funding options here.
There's a variety of what?
I mean, like it's got like the Kindle. It's like 40 pounds on Kindle.
It's pretty readable on Kindle, like especially if you have like a tablet.
Yeah.
Have like a tablet, like an iPad or something.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my time recently has been spent reading the Design Sprint book, which I think I've now read to death. But so I think we can. That's an easy action item for me, which is read. Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing there is that
it's not gonna. It's like it has. I haven't gotten to the part with the machine learning and stuff, but like I think it's more like case study approach.
Sure,
if that makes sense. It's more like kind of the common sense things and like a common working understanding of it.
Sure,
it's not like a deep dive into like the arcane properties of some algorithm or something.
Sure, I mean, it sounds it sounds good. I like what I'm hearing from you about it already. I mean, I guess the model that you were talking about, which is like, what can we predict when people are going to upgrade? I mean, I think that's one of our business. I mean, we've basically got 3 sources of income. So our business purposes are to get more contracts, to have more members upgrade, and to get more sponsors.
Yeah.
And I guess there's an extent to which, I mean, community activity, the whole domain of community activity is totally relevant to this number too.
Right. I mean, in terms of building a model, like, there's like what we're looking at right now is a supervised learning model.
Mm-hmm.
There's, unsupervised where you're kind of like
just looking for patterns,
exploring the data and like seeing if, like, say it's like which one of these is not like the other.
Right.
And then there's like semi-supervised, I think, where like part of the data is predictive. Like you have part of the data predictions. I don't know a lot about.
You've got reinforcement learning, where you've got
you got reinforcement learning, which is more like agent based almost.
Well, the key difference there is that you don't have is the feedback is delayed, so you don't know until it's rather than having a single training example.
Right. But you normally need like a simulation for reinforcement learning.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the reinforcement learning could apply, because if we're talking about time series, I mean, really, what reinforcement learning is, but for all of these things, I mean, as you say, you were talking about what are the business purposes. I mean, I might be wrong. It feels like the process of getting more contracts and more sponsors is based on this kind of networking activity. I mean, there is, like actually generating reports. Like, what I haven't done recently, because I mean, it is, like, to an extent, sponsors potentially want to see what's the community that I would reach by sponsoring you. And so then actually the community activity feeds into that to an extent. At the same time, so far in terms of getting sponsors, it's, I've done that all through connecting with people, not through reaching out to them saying, here's a prospectus. I've had lots of people go, oh, interesting prospectus, but none of that has converted into actual sponsorship input. And the contract thing as well feels like, like the quality of offer that one gets from actually talking to people is so much higher than from cold, email contacts.
Right. So, I mean, in terms of an analytics solution, like we wouldn't have a lot of we wouldn't have a lot of data generated in house on contracts because we like don't have a sales team.
No,
that's been like, putting notes in a database somewhere for like
right.
10.
No.
But I guess there are things like if you could try to like figure out how to, I don't know if LinkedIn has like an API or something.
Right.
Where you could try to like do some kind of network analysis and be like, oh, these people are actually influential in the charity sector and
right.
And then try to like go ingratiate yourself to those people.
Yeah. I mean, it sort of feels like I mean, there's basically this digital charities thing, and they have an event each month, and I should just, probably after my trip away, I will, make some time to go and do that on one Wednesday when I can get the wife to look after the kids. Yeah, I mean, I think that the community activity seems like the right place to be focused on. It's where we've got the most data.
I think we have the most data, yeah, and we can build the most data.
I mean, if we're talking about the model, I mean, this was the just random notes. I mean, you can edit this page as well, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, the thing that seems curious to me is that that we've managed to get, kind of a chunk of subscribed members, the premium members, and that it's sort of followed up, but it's kind of plateaued.
Right.
Like we've had a couple of, and what's not, it feels like, kind of I reached out to a lot of people who already had a positive feeling about Agile Ventures, and so they kind of connected. But there's also like some like completely new people who weren't involved before, like Ryder and Avinash and Arun and so on, and but of course different things. Some of them have been sponsored, some of them have put their own money in. But there's and the thing is, we've now got we've got, in the combination of the MOOC and the AdWords, we've got lots of people coming in and signing up, but not, because either the premium, either it's people don't perceive it as having value, or they just don't understand what it is.
Right. I mean, I also don't get the sense that like we're activating people, I guess. I see a lot of people come through new members.
Yeah, totally.
But then you never see them again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've had more, like, for example, there's one guy who sort of started on the SHF project who seems to have been at least reasonably active, and he came through the AV102 course.
Have we had anyone that's like in the last month that came into new members and then like
stuck around,
even showed up in a Scrum?
There was at least there was one guy in there. There's been one or two, but certainly no one who stuck around.
So that's fairly poor that we're only getting like one or two in a month that are reaching like actually talking to someone.
Yeah. I mean, my intuition is that it's it's for some people it's too completely open. Like, I mean, what we have got is like there's been a couple of people. There's been like one new person doing a pull request on local support, and then one new person doing a pull request on website one, and then another person who's like just who emailed me and said I want to get involved in website one and is trying to build it. And I mean, it's like, but yeah, it's like really month by month. It's really very small handfuls of people, and it's rare that they translate into really sticking, and or wanting to upgrade. And I feel it's like my sense is that the people are a bit unclear on the sequence. Like there's a few really driven people who are like, right, I'm gonna do this, and they kind of throw themselves into it and get it done. But that is much rarer than it is. That's pretty rare. And so it's like, I guess the conclusions to draw, either it's just the majority of people are never going to get that involved, or that if we could provide some sort of structure, that they might get more involved.
You might get more involved if you have, like, you might get more people involved, yeah, have structure, but
right. I mean, I think it, like, if I mean, and I think it comes back to your suggestion about, could we do a targeted ad that would say, like join the Hangout now kind of thing, or join the Jitsi or whatever it is, and then like to get us face to face talking to people. I mean, that's one thing. Or this thing that comes back to the getting started for, like, that Matt's on about, is like allowing them to track their progress through the website, so they can kind of see, this is what I've done so far, right? And okay, right, I needed to now review, like, my next step, right? I need, if I'm interested in this project, the thing that I need to do is review someone else's pull request on that project. And then they would, like, do that, and the website remember that they've done that, and then they come back to it like 3 days later or a week later, and it says, right, you've done the thing, now vote on an issue, or what. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that go on.
I think someone joined, but go on.
Yeah, I think there's this thing, like, for the difficulty is,
I think we discussed it in the design sprint with one of the interviewers, where I think it was Laura, maybe.
Yeah.
That said, is there more hand holding needed or whatever?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. I think the thing is, like, for us, we've kind of got the flow, the agile flow, the project thing. I mean, whether we're doing it wonderfully effectively or not is another matter, but we've got that kind of in our heads, and we sort of know the next steps to do. But people coming in are kind of like, okay, what do I do? And yeah, it was like I was showing in the Headspace thing about sort of having a system where it shows you, like, if you're busy doing another job, right, then your brain is, or studying or whatever, your brain is full of that thing.
Right.
And if you're going to come and sort of remember the sequence of things that you need to do, then it needs to be scaffolded. Do we have someone else has joined us? Hello there. I guess are they as maybe addressing them to scare them away? Oh well, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it. All right. Yeah. But so
I guess the question, like, go on. I don't know. I think scaffolding.
Yeah, but so I mean, I think we've got, that there's scaffolding people, and then there's also, like, it's like tracking people going through and doing the different things. So I mean, it connects up with what you were suggesting, which is, like, what's the domain model for that process and that operation. And so there's kind of one, just listing out things that people can do. There's also listing out the sensible order that people would do things in, and then being able to
like a temporal pattern, like,
right,
if they chat in Slack and then join a project on AV on the website, and then attend a hangout, contribute code. Does that sequence like generate something?
Right. And there's presumably like, there's like our expected sequence. There's the sequence that actually people take. I mean, in some bigger system, you could be sort of saying, right, which are the sequences that are most effective and most likely lead people to long-term engagement in a project, and let's then guide people to take that particular sequence. At the moment, it just sort of feels like people do this and that, and they drop off. It would be great if we could be somehow getting, I don't know, maybe even if we could be asking them, why didn't you carry on, it wouldn't necessarily reveal. They'd be like, oh, well, I was sort of too busy and I was unsure what to do next, or what it would be. I'm not sure.
So, I mean, there are models for that, like basically like a time series, not like a traditional series, but like hidden Markov model.
Yeah,
you could use for that. But like then the question is like, what are the I guess are we trying to predict something, or and then another thing with this book is they explain like one thing is, do you have the data, or can you data? Another thing is your organization capable? Like, do you have the institutional capability to actually act on the data?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, do you have like a system in place, and how involved would it be to actually act on the data? Because if you build, obviously if you build a model and it supposedly gives you great insight, and then like for whatever reason you can't actually implement anything out of it, then it's kind of like all academic.
No, totally. Yeah, I mean, the thing that I struggle with is knowing, like even with the prediction, is how we really effectively make use of it. It certainly feels like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's the kind of thing that, well, like what LinkedIn does is identifying users whose activity has spiked slightly and then offering them, free trials and things in the site. I mean, I guess obviously we don't have anything like LinkedIn's traffic, but we have a fair amount of traffic in the site. It feels like the site traffic is potentially more actionable than the Slack one, and as much as that we could then be automating,
right?
The Slack one is, I guess we assume that Slack bots are going to be fairly ineffective at reaching out to people. I mean, that said, you could still be giving me those updates, and I could be reaching out to individuals.
There's nothing to say that data that we use in Slack that you then have to contact the person via Slack, right?
No, that's true. That's true.
We could,
Yeah.
Because we know what their username is on the website.
Yeah. I'm just thinking that we actually probably have more data because, like the people coming into Slack is some sub portion. I mean, I guess maybe the more engaged people. I mean, the thing it seems to me is just at the moment the thing to do is to work through the getting started, and it just seems to me like step one: set up an account on GitHub if you don't have it already. An option, like it just seems like this is like it's kind of just the most, like, really it seems like this is the first step, right? Is look for something that you're interested in,
right?
You know what I mean? Like all of this is like side stuff, all of that can be addressed if you've found something that motivates, that interests you. Yeah. Right. So I feel like that should be. Yeah, I think the key, like, no disrespect to where this has come from and how it's evolved and so on, whatever, but this is all coming from the point of view of like, this is the stuff that you need to do for us to make this process work. It's not coming from the point of view of like, what do you want? How do we help you? And I think this just needs to be, yeah, it just needs to be reordered with that in mind. And with like far less text. I mean, I think, is that this going off every 15 minutes now?
Yeah.
Jeepers. Okay. But yeah, it seems to me like if we could just be pacing people, like, you know, what's with the question, like, what is it that you want to level up on, you know, in terms of, we've got the tech and people, you know, it's like the part of my design sprint thing, which is like, you know, click the technology that you want. And the risk there is, of course, that like it's then like Udacity has got like, you know, like level up on React. We want to be, I guess there's a.
So the thing that came out of the design sprint doesn't talk about technologies.
No. Not the. I mean, I think that's the, you know, and that's fine. Like it can sell people on the, like, this is the process for, and then the next thing is like, okay, right. Well, but you know, the almost like the getting started point is we drop people here after they've signed up.
Right.
So it's like we've got their, you know, emailers, but like the first thing we're asking them to do is go to a different site and sign up there.
Right.
And I mean, I think we can, you know, if we look at the analytics for, okay, how does this go back? Do I go to home there? Like what we want to look at is behavior off the getting started page. And of course, so now this will be the thing it will take. Really? You're just like not going to go there at all. Okay, Google Analytics home, behavior, overview. It's like, you know, then I hit reload, and then it's going to reload the whole thing because I was too impatient in the first place. But what I assume we would see is on the getting started page is there's like a massive drop-off rate of just people going elsewhere, rather than to in our site. Did we get that under behavior flow? Can we look for, so it's landing page. Can I search for a particular page in here?
All the way on the right, second interaction, getting started.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Highlight traffic through here. Drop-offs 42%. Explore traffic through here. Here we go. So we can see that, like, you know, we've got people going to, you know, there, 18 people going to the projects page. And we're just
10% or so or less are going.
Yeah. And then, I mean, can we get some? So these are the other pages that they're going to. Seems to me that
some of them are clicking through on actual individual projects, but
yeah, we've got like the SHF wiki, but that's what I mean. Like, it seems to me that what we would like to be seeing from the thing is basically a lot of people are going to land on this page and they're like, yeah, I'll do that later, and they don't come back. Like, first and foremost, like if this was, I think. Yeah, it seems to me like we would like to be seeing almost everybody who comes to this page going and looking at a project, right?
Right.
Would be Like that would be far more encouraging than what we're currently seeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I need to go. I mean, I'm kind of. I mean, this. Do you know that this step 1 to me and step 2 almost seem kind of irrelevant? Like, because what we're telling the people to do is to come into the Slack channel to start chatting to the people, right?
That's like fairly low down, yeah.
What do you mean by low down?
Down further.
Oh yeah, right. But so what I'm saying is, like, I almost think like we don't need these things at all in this page, right? Like,
right.
they can get a Git account on GitHub if they like. The key thing is that we get a. I mean, I think all of this stuff to here looks to me like excess verbiage. The main purpose that this serves is that when people load this page, all they can see is text, and it just tells them to go and do things that none of the things kind of make any sense for them. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's we're sort of communicating them part of how Agile Ventures works or whatever, but a lot of people who've landed here have like people know how to sign up for stuff, and we've got things like, please consider filling out your profile so other members can get to know you. I mean, it's like, yeah, we'd love them to do that, but that's totally not the. I mean, I'm tempted in here to come in here and just take out these first 2 steps here, right, and make this step 1,
right,
and then make this step 2,
and
then this step 3, and this step 4, and this step 5, and step 6. So, and then I don't know. I mean, the table needs to be improved, but I'm gonna do that, and then we'll see. I guess I need to go now. But yeah, I think that's what I mean. I kind of, after having done my year of blogging, I think I want to spend a year of like individually tweaking pages on Agile Ventures to adjust the flow through, so we can actually get people, some of these people landing in the right place.
So I guess we never got to answer the question of what particular models might be helpful.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. It's interesting because I was assuming like you're like brainstorming concepts in the AV to Min model. I assume you mean like these sorts of concepts, but then you're saying like what kind of model, as in like whether it should be learning supervised or unsupervised or reinforcement learning.
Not even at that level, but like just kind of like given that we can do neat things with data, like predict things.
Yeah, go on.
Find common structure.
Right.
Like, what things would we like to predict or say these things are similar? And then from that, or say like, X influences Y.
Right.
And therefore say, aha, we have an actionable insight.
Right. Well, and I think what we would like to see is a relation. I mean, the thing that seems key to me, that I think we were seeing a lot from the design of it, is the relationship between the amount of information that we're trying to display to whether people actually take action. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we have this massive problem that we have huge pages full of text with no images. And I think if we want people to take action, we need small amounts of text that's carefully worded and supporting images. And I think I'd like to see, making those changes and measuring if we get changes in the behavior.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of something you can do just with Google Analytics.
Right.
Right out of the box.
But yeah, but so what we can't necessarily do is the sequences, right? We need to be making sure that people are. We want people to get to the sequences where they contribute code to a project and where they upgrade to premium.
Right.
So, yeah.
But if you can get that book and start reading, like,
that's key.
Chapters, I think. What I'm saying will make more sense.
All right, we have that as an action item. Cool.
I don't know whether you're gonna be able to get that soon or
we'll see. You never know. All right. Well, happy 4th of July for tomorrow, and I'll catch up with you on Wednesday, I guess.
Or maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
All right. Okay. Bye for now.